Imagine you got a brand new toy every single second, and you never put any away. In minutes, your room would be buried. Computers grab new things constantly too, yet somehow they never drown in clutter. So who is secretly tidying up behind the scenes while nobody is looking? Here's the secret. Inside every computer is a space called memory. Picture it as a giant toy room with rows of empty shelves. Whenever a program needs something, like a photo or a score, it places that object on an empty shelf so it can grab it again later. So the room starts empty and neat. But your program is hungry, it keeps making new objects. A new message, a new picture, a new high score. Each one grabs a fresh shelf. We call this allocation, reserving a little spot in memory for something brand new. Now picture this happening thousands of times a second. Grab a shelf, grab another, grab another. Very quickly the neat room turns crowded. If objects only ever arrived and never left, the shelves would fill completely, and then there would be nowhere to put anything new. But here's the thing, you don't keep playing with every toy forever. Yesterday's toy gets dropped when today's arrives. In a program it's the same. An old message, a finished game screen. Nobody is pointing at them anymore. They've quietly become junk taking up space. How does the computer know which toys still matter? With references. Think of a reference as a string tied from your hand to a toy. If a string still leads to an object, you can still reach it. Cut every string and that object is forgotten, completely unreachable. So the rule is simple. Start from what the program is using right now, call these the roots. Follow every string outward. Anything you can reach by following strings is alive and important. Anything with no string leading to it is unreachable garbage, just waiting to be cleaned. Now meet the hero of our story, the garbage collector. It's a little helper built into the computer. Its only job is to find every unreachable object and sweep it away, freeing the shelves. It works automatically, so the programmer never has to clean up by hand. The robot works in 2 steps. First, marking. Starting from the roots, it follows every string and paints a glowing dot on each object it can reach. Mark, mark, mark. All the toys someone still holds get a bright tag. Everything left dark is the junk. Then comes sweeping. The robot scans the whole room and removes every object that did not get a glowing mark. Whoosh! The junk shelves are emptied and ready to use again. The marked, still loved objects stay exactly where they are, perfectly safe. And just like that, the toy room is tidy again. The freed shelves are open and waiting, so the program can keep making new objects without ever running out of space. This loop repeats forever. Fill up a little, clean up a little, fill up again. But the robot is even smarter. It noticed a pattern. Most new objects are thrown away almost instantly, while a few survive a long time. So it splits the room into a young shelf and an old shelf, and checks the busy young shelf far more often. Why split them up? Because cleaning the small young shelf is quick and finds lots of junk, while the calm old shelf rarely needs touching. By focusing effort where the mess actually is, the robot does way less work and keeps the whole computer running fast. There is one catch. While the robot tidies, the program sometimes has to freeze for a tiny moment, a pause. Usually it's a blink you'd never notice. But for fast games or apps, engineers work hard to keep these cleanup pauses as short as possible. So now you know the secret tidy-up robot. Memory is a toy room, programs grab shelves. References are strings to what's still loved, and the garbage collector marks the keepers, sweeps the junk, and even cleans the young shelf first. That's how computers stay clutter-free all by themselves.